No, just that group. Terry, Randy. You might not need gloves, but
Hi, Courtney.
hey, Courtney. So we are about ready to bag a wing tonight. Okay. We're gonna get started here. You wanna turn it that direction?
Are you doing that first?
Yes. Okay, we're going to get started here. Welcome to Fly RC Joe's Workshop. We're going to bag a wing. We do a few more things a little different. So we've got all the stocks put in. Spars are already been cut and pre-routed in. We add fiberglass over top of the spar. It's 1.4 ounce cloth, 3 inches wide. We run one piece of 3.6 ounce cloth down here in the channel. Then we run an 1.5 inch wide piece, and then we set the spar in there. But you've got everything pre-laid. This wing, you've got your channel routed in there. You've got a piece of 8 by 8 balsa capping it off so that you don't get resin down into that, because the way that these curve for the wire channel, if you fill that pocket up, you're going to really regret it. Yes, you can router out some sheeting, go in there and fix it, replace the sheeting. If anybody ever needs to know that, I would be happy to do a video on removing sheeting and damaged wings. So we are about ready to get started. We also blew everything off really thoroughly to make sure that all the little beads from the foam is gone, all the balsa dust is gone. So we're about ready to get started here.
Hey, Terry. Thanks for sharing the video.
Hey, Terry. So again, I completely agree with the hairspray thing, but we're going to try it this time without. Because I'm just curious on some issues with covering that I've been having. So we started out with 4 pumps of West Systems 105 with 206 hardener, with a black foam roller here. And we're about ready to get started. Oh, I do have the spar just lightly marked in a couple spots where the spar is going to end up on the sheeting. The sheeting has all been pre-glued and taped together. I just leave the tape on there just for the heck of it. Yeah, I just like to pre-glue it all together. I sand off a little bit, just if there's any kind of ridge at all. I will get that sanded down. But here we go. And anybody that's watched Terry's video on vacuum bagging, using RIT dye to show where your resin is, if it's your guys' first time doing this kind of stuff, I would highly recommend it. It really, really does show where your resin is, if you're thin, things like that. I used poly glue forever, so I kind of got a little bit more experience looking to see where it's wetted and things like that. So
Say hi so we know who's on.
hey guys, hope you guys saw the video today on tail heavy airplane. What a blast. What you know, I've flown that airplane for years and
Hi, Tanner.
loved it, and what a difference. It really did wake it up. It flew completely different.
Hi, Wayne.
It's very, very hard to describe. So, hey Wayne, hey Tanner. So, I also will tell you, when you do hairspray the balsa, the resin does not soak in as much. It really is a great thing to do, but I'm not doing it this time just because I'm always experimenting, and we'll see.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve Rains.
Hi, Sarah.
Sarah. Oh, hey, Sarah. Nice seeing you guys yesterday. So we've got this nice and wetted out here. Now, a strip of 1.4 ounce cloth. Will you grab the scissors? A strip of 1.4 ounce cloth goes directly over the spar. Now, before we were laying this down, we've been experimenting with this fiberglass trick for quite a while. It really came from, I had some wings that were popping loose with the carbon, and what was actually happening was the carbon was not breaking, it was delambing from the foam. And so what we started doing, I chopped it all, I just routed out the balsa, and I put a piece of fiberglass to hold down the carbon fiber toe. And the concept kind of came from the glider guys. They do it on the new foam wings like Horizon's Balanik. So when I saw that, that's kind of where this idea came about from. And it's worked really, really well. We're actually eliminating the carbon fiber toe, and I've actually found that this is stronger. And it's quite a bit stronger. You know, the cloth, you know, the strings are going the same way, you know, lengthwise and things like that. It all kind of made sense that it should work. Now, on the trailing edge one, we also do a trailing edge here. I leave this up just about 1/8 of an inch off of the trailing edge here. Now, You just want to barely leave that up. Because, remember, we've got wood to wood. So I want a good bond on that. I don't want the glass going over that. Now, we've been putting the cloth over top of the ailerons also because it really stiffens them up.
Steve, I know this guy that would help you in a heartbeat.
What?
He thinks he needs to maybe sell some of his current hobby stuff and build a plane.
Yes, indeed. There's a swap meet coming up real soon here at Golden Spike. I will definitely get you the dates. I don't have the dates off the top of my head, sorry.
We'll get them and post them on the page.
Yep. But then heck, come on out. We'll start building an airplane. We can always start routering out a fuselage and cutting everything, and we can start. The 40%ers are unreal. You really got to come out and see them. From when you saw them back in the day, they are...
He was there when Sally flew.
Oh, yeah. Well, double the amount of power, and that's what we're doing now. It's unbelievable. So you also notice that I just left the cloth long, and now I just trim it off. Because 1.4 ounce cloth, you guys got to remember that it's awfully light. Now, I've done some experiments with 2 layers of 3/4 ounce cloth to see if it was stronger. I've used 3.6 ounce cloth, and I've really found that this is the best way. Now, coming over here to laying in the spar.
Hold on, guys. Don't let me make you sick.
Now, our spars are really different. My buddy Brent Bone and I were working on Eleanor back in the day, and we really did a bunch of experimentation. And we found out that a light ply spar laying flat, not standing up, is actually stronger because it's torsional strength. It's kind of trying to pull it out. And it makes a super, super strong spar.
Steve says, but his current hobby stuff goes bang.
Well, yeah, that too. I will tell you, I don't care what hobby it is. If you have a good hobby in life, it's good. Oh, that I actually plugged in.
Oh,
And I left it there for a purpose.
let's see what it does. I was just moving it.
Hey guys, we're going to try a light here, and hopefully things don't get fuzzy for you. So, we just give it a nice liberal wiping down in that spar line. Now, I use 1/2 inch wide. My spar is 5/8. We use 1/2 inch wide 3.6 ounce cloth. Down here in the channel. Scissors. Now, you guys just dapple a brush on the wet resin. You can trim the sand off.
Oh, I can't. Coughing tonight.
It's going to push the resin up and through. And if it doesn't, just put a little tiny drip back on it. Now, I do make sure...
Hi, Linda.
Hey, Linda. I do make sure that I'm pulling this 1/2 inch piece down the channel because I'm trying to actually pre-stretch it.
So Linda, Steve says he's going to get rid of some of his toys that go bang, so he can get a toy that flies in the air for longer than just a few seconds. You want me to turn this side?
Oops, I almost forgot something. You need to wet out the top edges of the foam, just barely.
Brad wants to know when the hell you're going to build his 60% MXS.
Probably after a 60% cap. Definitely on the radar.
Brad, I'll add that to my honey-do list, but it's going on the bottom.
So, just just barely wetted that out on the top edges. Now, we're setting in an 1.5 inch wide, 1.4 ounce cloth here.
Linda says Joe needs to go out and play with Steve's toys that go bang.
Yes, that would be fun.
We'll have to do that. And Brad says I can see where I rank. No, you have to see where I rank, Brad. My kitchen's still not done, and look at what we're doing.
I gotta get this done for Corn Hut, guys. So, now right here, I give just a little tiny bead there. And I dapple and pull the cloth down. Now, you're also going to notice that these are all marked, top, tip, things like that, because these are cut on a little bit of an angle. You don't want to mess that up.
Mark, we know Terry's wife. Yeah.
Mark Thurman?
No,
Probably.
Chazelle. Chazelle. I can't pronounce it. Sorry, Mark.
Sorry.
He says, "Do you fly Terry's wife?" I don't know. I'm confused what that means. Yes, we know Terry and his wife. And then Linda says, "You can do Brad's 60% before you do Steve's 40."
Well, here's the big key, Brad. Steve, this goes to everybody. I am always welcome to help somebody local build one like we're doing with Lonnie right now. I really love teaching, guys. I really do. That's the reason we're doing this. And I also want to give, I've always said that I give full credit for everything. And I hope you guys are really enjoying what we're trying to do here. This was Nicole's brainchild of doing Facebook this way and live, and so want to give a huge thanks.
Brad says, tell Joe there's 24 hours in a day. He's a robot. He doesn't need sleep.
I've done that quite a few times in my life, and I am here to tell you that I'm getting old.
And then Steve says he keeps getting booted. And Terry thought that you were, Mark thought you were Terry.
Oh, sorry, Mark.
No big deal, Mark. Steve says, but you've seen my builds.
Yeah, I can teach you a lot since
I remember you guys hovering. Do you want to
hover with a YW engine? Yep, best song ever. So now I'm gonna give a quick.
Oh, check alien. I get it. Sorry, Mark.
we give just a little tiny wipe right here along this. Now, everything else is nice and wet. Everything else should be good. So, just give that a quick little roll. And over here where it's gonna stick, okay. So now,
Nuh-uh, you still have that, Steve? He still has that motor in that plane.
yeah.
You gotta bring it out.
Yep, we gotta go fly it, Steve.
He still has one that they need to turn into a lamp, Linda says, too.
Yep.
Okay, Joe's back over there.
Okay. So now we've got everything nice and wetted out.
Are we going over there?
So just stay there. So, now remember I pre-cut all my sheets very close to the edges. It's okay. So, we want to make sure that we're just a 1/16.
That's awesome, Steve. Weren't they you can do's?
No, the YW has it in giant scale planes, katana.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I don't forget.
Tanner says, you've got way more patience than I. If it takes longer than 5 minutes to assemble my wing, it's over.
Well, this will take me, normal build for me is 3 months, 4 months. Now you're going to notice that I just have a couple of weights.
Yes, Brandon.
Little
Steve couldn't even remember the plane it was in. And then Brandon says, Brandon Peterson, building like this is becoming a lost art.
And that's why we're doing this.
Yep,
really.
that is why we're doing this.
You know, some of the other forums, I'm not going to get into it. They don't want to share this, and they want to rip people for
Trying, experimenting.
trying or experimenting or saying an accidental word. Well, that's why we're doing this stuff live. So,
And Steve says perfection takes time. That it does, lots of time. He's getting more glue. These are the wings to a PAU edge
yep.
that
I
he's
absolutely
experimenting with.
Yep. I love the PAU edge. Have nothing bad to say about the 43% PAU edge. But I'm doing my thin wing design. We're going back over here. We're doing my thin wing design that I just want to see how different it is. We did stretch a few things. We went from 126-inch wingspan to 128-inch wingspan. We're really not going to lose that much weight. We're going to lose a little weight. I mean, sure, but I'm not doing it because the PAU wings are heavy. His wood build wings they're great. So
Tanner says more glue is always the answer.
no. So
Now, Tanner. And then Terry says, plus home-built planes are stronger and fly way more better.
yeah, they do. On to the glue subject. Tanner.
You started something there.
I know. So, like I said, I don't take anything. Well, I try to take things as a joke, guys. I do, but the reason we're doing this is so that we can share information. But I kind of know how many pumps it's going to do. We did one of these wings yesterday, and we'll show you guys the wing after we get this one in the bag. So, but normally what I do is I have a cheat sheet here that I lay out that tells me how many sheets of balsa I've used on the last one, because I really try to conserve these trees. They're super expensive. I got to give a huge shout out real quick to Balsa USA. These wings are being sheeted in Balsa USA. I think I've used every brand from every supplier out there, and I got to tell you guys, this is gorgeous. This is, all I can say is thank you to Balsa USA. This stuff is beautiful. It's super light, but it's not too light. I don't like the competition grade balsa because I found that super soft competition grade balsa is that. It's soft. And I don't like it. I don't like the super hard heavy stuff that I...
Tanner, he's figured out how many pumps equals how much weight on his plane for the glue. That's how much he's worked on his gluing techniques.
So,
and he tracks it. He tracks as he's doing it how many pumps, so he knows when he weighs his wings how much of that weight is glue.
I was only off on my weight by 0.4 of an ounce from my calculated weights. 0.4, not 4 ounces, 0.4. So, it's good to just keep track of stuff. And I actually keep these notes in my book with my certain builds in case I ever need to reproduce something. I know exactly what I did, how much cloth, how thick a cloth I used, because I'm always experimenting. So it's hard for me to say, oh, I did it this way. Every wing's different. Every airplane's different. I'm always trying, but I can tell you that West Systems 105 epoxy with their standard pump, each pump is 1 ounce. And it's exact. I mean, at first I was weighing because I didn't trust their pump. So I was weighing my epoxy to make sure that I was getting the right ratios.
Tanner says methodic and precise. I like it.
Yeah, it pays off. I can't wait to have you fly one of these planes when I'm at Spats Invitational in California this year. I think you'll be pretty darn impressed. They're a different animal.
I was kidding with Joe yesterday, telling him that he needs to do one like the cooking shows and have each stage of the wing ready and wear some pearls and talk like Julia Childs.
Well, I told her no.
If you want to see him do that, give me some like thumbs up or hearts or something. If we get enough of them, maybe I'll talk him into it.
You guys give us enough likes, I'll put on
yes,
a
Tanner.
dress.
Tanner, he's hauling more than some down, I'm sure. Oh, look.
Hey.
Look.
Oh, shoot.
Look.
I'll wear a dress next time just for you guys. Hey, that's what this is about. Having fun, guys.
I will find some big old dress-up pearls.
Oh, shoot.
Steve says that would be hilarious. They're still liking it. They're still... Steve keeps hitting the like button.
Oh, thank you. Now I'm going to be dressed up in a stinking skirt. Thanks a lot, guys. Hey, if it gets good laughs, that's what life's about. So you're going to notice how wetting out the the cloth right here on the balsa, I got to give a thanks to John.
They're still going.
I used to wet it out on the foam, and we used to roller and roller and roller to get everything out and wet it out. And my buddy John Larson, that's the fiberglass guy that has taught me so much.
Hi, Quirky.
I says, I was going to try this. And he says to me, he goes, well, aren't you doing it that way? That's the way you should be doing it, you know. And so, and it really is working awesome. Really like wetting it out here on this. Seems to speed it up a lot. So, now we've got that wing all wetted out. I'll start unrolling the bag and I'll start
Yep.
this ready. So
Okay.
you can bring that back over here. Now again, just a little bit of resin down in here like that.
Sorry, you're getting noisy.
Sorry guys, opening the bag up. Gotta really recommend to you guys. Terry, I used to do just, you know, Gorilla Glue, poly glue wings, and really liked them. I was able to get really nice weights out of them and stuff like that, but 2 years ago, Terry really pushed me to buy some vacuum bagging equipment and try it. And if you guys are going to build, I super recommend to go find a friend that already has one.
I was going to cut, but
Yep. Or buy one. You're not going to go wrong. I will show some different techniques when I get onto some wood stuff where I'm even taking some, oops, I really frayed that on accident, but no matter. So, but, you know, the vacuum bagging really did change everything for me. It's been absolutely awesome. I used to throw around 50-pound bags of salt, and if you guys have followed me for a while, you know that I've got kind of a bad back, and
Hi, Rochelle.
I've thrown, hi Rochelle, wonderful wedding yesterday. That was awesome. I'm super happy for her. So, oops. Now don't forget to wet just barely up here outside of this box before you throw in the 1.5 inch wide cloth. So here for just a minute, guys, Nicole's going to really help me here, and we'll go through and answer some questions if you guys have them after this is in the bag. Here we're going to really start rushing. So now, the 1.5 inch wide, 1.4 ounce cloth. Making sure to really push, wet that through just a little bit, and also pulling so the glass is going to do its job.
Scissors are so dull. It's just pulling it. Here's the other one.
So you guys, you gotta just know how to use the dull scissors.
Oh, I just don't want to move your fiberglass. You need to sharpen them.
So now, just gonna give a little tiny line down that. Okay, now. Now, around the hard points for the blocks, make sure to wet those out just a little bit. Now, we knew last time that we were 8 ounces of glue left over. And this one looks to be identical. We've got just a quarter of a cup here.
What's the open time on that epoxy?
30 minutes. 30 minutes of working time. Open time is like 3 hours. But that's why you really want to start hustling out here. So now I'm barely over.
I'm gonna move this over there so that we don't trip around it. Oh, show me.
Now, real quick, something that I do is I use a breather, okay, material, because I've had a few times that the epoxy blows through because of using the fiberglass. Now, what I do is I just lay that down right where that spar is.
It's a, if you don't know what breather, it does have holes all through it.
Very thin plastic. I almost forgot it. If you did, it's okay. What's going to happen is your foam is going to stick to your deal just a little bit. Now, remember, your foam's going to be overhanging by 1/4 of an inch. That's normal. Now, we lay this breather down right here. Just over that. And I like a nice big piece over here because I do know that that cloth sticking out of there is going to have the the breather material stick to it. So we do that. Now,
Okay.
set your top shuck on here, and we're going to get it in the back.
Oh. So, you guys are gonna kind of get a halfway view here. Here, we got a minute. That's a felt.
actually very similar to batting. It's a super thin batting for blankets, things like that. Now, open the bag.
Okay, hang on. Hang on.
Open the bag.
I'm getting there.
Now you need a piece of breather going from the tube down. You want to use a piece of cardboard underneath your deal so that it doesn't just suck down to the breather and stop breathing. This is why you need 2 people, guys. So.
Okay.
Now the reason this weight is on here, the piece of wood, is just to kind of help hold the foam in alignment for this next step. Okay, kick it on.
Now, you want me to come hold those?
So if you can just watch this up in the edge to make sure it sucks down properly. Just making sure it's fine. Something I used to do that I really recommend is making some hash marks through your foam so that you can see that it's aligned where you need it to be. This is something that we've done enough of now, just kind of getting used to. Now, here's something interesting. These are just some C-channel aluminum that I will show you guys a picture up close here once this bag starts sucking down. I use this on my trailing edges. And this came from when I was doing the poly glue tricks. And I still use it. metal pinch clamps that need to have a titch of rubber. Watching that leading edge. So,
Thanks, Terry. Hi, Carrie.
hey Carrie. This is next on Lonnie's airplane here.
Yep, wait, now.
I still just, I don't know, I just like a 3/4 inch piece underneath that I know is super flat, and another one on top so that the foam's not shifting as we're moving around holding the bag and things like that. So this pump is a bleed system, so you got to watch it, because when you crank it all the way in to start blowing up, to really help it start pumping, you can crank it. Now, I've normally pulled mine up around 8 bar, 8 pounds of pressure. These ones, because these are cored out, I'm only pulling these at about 6. There we go. And you want to really make sure that bag is pulling those leading and trailing edges. Now, because we have the pinch clamps in the back, we're not half as worried about all these. There the pressure goes. Now you gotta watch this for about a half an hour, because it'll vary just a little tiny bit. And there it goes. It's amazing. You'll just be working along and all of a sudden it just slams the door. It's very quick. So now let's try to get a shot around here. What we're talking about.
All right, hang tight, everybody. There.
So you really want to make sure that this is slammed down from top and bottom. If you didn't work the bag like this, it's going to pull it and it's going to push it wrong. So you really got to make sure that these corners are like this. We do have an overhang, so don't, we pushed in on the bag just like this a little bit to make sure it's pulling all equally.
Hi, John.
Now, hey, John. So now we've got that all nice and pulled down. You're going to see the breather material that we have a big sheet up here. And then what we do is we pull another piece of breather down here to the valve, to the cardboard. So that's the reason you need the cardboard in there, is because mine's resting off the table. Now back over here to this C channel. So you're going to notice we just got the bag pulled together like this and then wrapped up into the C channel. Then we just run a little tiny clamp on there. And what this does is it just holds everything. If you do have a wave, it's going to be a big wave because it's so, yeah, I don't have a million clamps on it. Don't need a million clamps. I do need one more.
No biggie, John. John says he's late.
What?
Late to the show. Hey, John, just for giggles here, give me a couple hearts and some likes, okay?
If you want me to be dressed up in a dress for the next time we do this.
He said the dress part. All I said was pearls.
Okay.
I told
pearls,
him
pearls.
He has to wear pearls and act like Julia Child.
Oh. Okay. So now with just a few of these little pinch clamps along here, that's going to keep that trailing edge just nice and straight. Let me show you guys one that we did.
There we go. Done with
Now,
it.
see how that pressure ballooned up? Now, it's okay for just a second, but if it held there all night long, it might bow a little bit. So I like that to be about a 6 to 7 is where I like to have that.
Carrie wants to see you for sure. Maybe on John's wing, or I mean on Lonnie's wings, we'll do it. Maybe Lonnie needs to do it too.
So, now I know this is dumb, guys, but because I know how much this should weigh, I should have 0.8 ounces left over. So I know that these two wings are going to be absolutely identical because I did watch how much tape was on them. I know how much my sheeting weighed.
We're having fun, aren't we?
Yes, we are. So
Here's the wing that we already did.
now to the cooking show. Ta-da! And it's done.
Terry says, nice pump. You need to talk about a tank and regulator.
I do. I really do. I've actually got a few extra pumps and I need to get on building one big time. But, yeah, I know. One more project.
Notice him build one.
So, and I do have a little mini compressor and stuff. Now, I was left over with a small overhang, and all I did is sanded that off and pulled the tape off. You're going to see the spar that's through here. You're going to notice how nice and straight
Hold still.
that is. Sorry, I'm trying to hang on to it, guys. So, now to go into, I always have these little tiny marks right here. Now, they are there. And that's going to help me align where the center of my hinge line goes. Now I have them out here, very, very faint, but they're there. And then I have a measurement of where all this box stuff comes through. Now, how do you find out where your servo box is? You take a before you cut, you can take a super high powered light and you stick it on the backside and it eggs through. You'll actually be able to see it. And you need to turn off all the lights, but you can egg right through.
Here, let's put this about, right? Here.
So,
Let's see.
woo, you're going to see right where the center of my aileron needs to be. You're going to see where all my coring is. So if you ever have a question where a core pocket is, where a servo box is, this coring shows exactly what the servo boxes look like. So you're going to be able to see right through the foam and see where the 3/4 is and where all those marks need to be. And so you can just take a sharp razor and cut right through it. So I turn the light back on.
You want to flash that up so I don't trip? There we go.
So that's how you find all your servo boxes. Then what I do is I don't cut all the way to the edge. I cut just the center out and then I work myself out to the edges with just a super sharp razor blade. Those have just been razor blades. Now, my sheeting still has to be lightly sanded down. I highly recommend a long sanding bar and just hold it nice and straight. Now remember something, don't pull up through here because you're going to dish your wing. You need to make sure when you're sanding that your not dishing it. So now down here along this trailing edge, you want to work along. And I really like just using a big bar. Now through here, you're going to start turning the bar straight so that you don't carve it out. And it really doesn't take a lot of time when you're working with really good balsa, like the Balsa USA stuff. When you pre-glue it, you could actually pull the tape back off and use a nice flat bench and spline sand the entire sheet. And then put some tape on it. It helps. It helps as you're moving that sheet around because these are 1/16. You could actually crack them. So we do put the tape back on, and we leave the tape on there for the purpose of when you're swinging it around with epoxy, it doesn't want to snap it. So, but you're going to notice something here. I hope you can see it. That you're going to see these shiny little dots. That's how much the epoxy balloons up through, but it only does it directly under or through the fiberglass. There's little tiny dots there. Yeah, you can see them. There's one right there.
Not through the...
Yes, I can see them through your phone.
Okay.
See that little dark spot that my fingertip is right next to? That is resin. So that's how much it's ballooning up through. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. You know that it's got a great bond when it does that. But that's the reason we use the peel ply since we started using the fiberglass technique. So hopefully this helps. Was there any questions?
You know, I don't think I ever answered Mark's question. No, I don't fly.
No. She just comes out and helps me all the time. I got a wonderful wife.
Hey, Mark. You should have an email coming to you later tonight, Mark. I didn't forget.
Just been a little crazy busy lately. So, but I really want this project done for Cornhusk. So I am making sure to stay some super late nights to make sure that this gets done. So, is there any other questions?
No, I think we're good.
I want to super thank, again, my wife for doing this. I really want to thank her for all of her help. She's awesome. I got a wonderful wife, guys. So please give her a big thumbs up. When you guys meet her, please give her a thank you from me. Super appreciate all you guys being on here. I hope that we're helping teach the art form of building. It is so much fun. The building is, I would say, 80% of my love for the hobby. I love to fly, but building is where it's at for me. So.
Tanner says, I'd be ashamed to cover that up with color. Slap some clear covering on it. It's a work of art. You know, Tanner, I've tried to talk him into doing that a few times because his planes are a work of art. Yeah. You're welcome, Linda. Thanks for coming on. Hey, so. Carrie, if you're still on, I should have my stuff this week.
So, I've thought about it over and over and over on clear covering because it is, they're beautiful. When you see it on the next step, you're going to be amazed that when you pre-lay everything in there, they're just beautiful. So.
Okay, we'll see you guys again soon.
Thanks guys. Again. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, don't forget, like our page, our Facebook page, like our YouTube channel. We are doing our videos here, and then we're going to move them over to YouTube so that anybody can access them whenever they want. So please remember to do that. It's the same name on YouTube, Fly RC Joe's Workshop. When we get to 150 likes on our Facebook page, we are going to do a little giveaway. Yeah. So just
working on something.
Keep pushing it and getting people going on it for us. And thanks. We appreciate everything. We appreciate you guys watching more than you know. Thank you.
Thanks. See you guys.